what's up, guys? Mystic Shop Podcast, episode 10.
This is the final episode where I can do this.
Yeah, no, because I'm not helping you out, man.
I have a plan. You're toast, man. Don't worry. I'm gonna go cut
mean,
off some people's hands. No, I'm just joking.
I mean, I can see you got a hook hand in the background there, so it's that can get you to 11.
Yes.
But see that?
Yeah,
That's good.
it's becoming an issue now. He already has 10 fingers up.
It's not an issue.
Gomez ain't gonna help, so.
Well, Darth Vader finds the lack of something disturbing.
Yeah.
The lack of faith. Where is your Star Wars knowledge, man? Come on.
I haven't watched it in so long, man.
It's okay. All right.
So today we got our special guest, Wondermelo.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Enjoy you know your glory.
Thank you.
Amazing content.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So let me do our usual intro. So we got Swerve.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, except for Gomez. Screw him.
I mean, you're all right. It's just going to afternoon for me. I say it's going dark.
Exactly.
It's 1 p.m. now. So.
We gotta wake up bucket clock for him, yo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this man. I don't mean to be the man I am.
Then we got
butt crack of dawn.
Then we got Gomez. What's up,
Hello.
Gomez? How you doing?
Happy me.
And our glorious horse, we the
We got
people.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yep. What's going on, everybody? And then, like I said before, we got our special guest, Wondermelo. So we're gonna get right into it. So first thing I wanted to do was ask Wondermelo if she can tell us about some of her TCG background.
Sounds
you know,
good.
what you got you into Legends of Runeterra, and you know, you can just take the floor from here.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I started card games when I was about 14, 15-ish with Cardfight Vanguard because I just wanted a hobby because I did not have like any hobbies. So I knew one of my friends played it, so I asked if he could like teach me and introduce me to the locals, and it was really fun. And it was actually like a really good thing in my life at that moment, like getting into card games, because it was, you know, like I was an angsty teen, it was a rough patch, and like the fact that I could like every week like dress super cute, look at my makeup, play some aggro deck, and consistently got top 4 against guys that are twice my age was a huge confidence booster. Like that was exactly what I needed in my life right then. And
Wait,
like,
what was
looking
your first
back,
card game?
Cardfight Vanguard.
Oh, you
That's
played
what I
Vanguard?
played back then.
Yo, you
Yes,
played
Side
Vanguard?
Brothers.
Oh, word!
Yes.
Wow, yo,
I miss it still.
Yeah, same. Yo, I stopped playing when they split the formats. That's when I stopped playing.
Yeah. I stopped a little before that. I'll probably eventually do 0, but I still watch the anime. It's a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was that guy that played Link Joker. Go ahead.
Oh no! Don't lock my units. And then after that, I did the other Bushiroad game, Buddy Fight. So I also played that physically at my locals. I went to like one Spring Fest, so that was like my first tournament experience, and that was really cool. And then when I got to university, I decided that I wanted to start streaming because I just wanted to be able to get more confidence in myself and to be able to speak more articulately in front of an audience. So I sort of just chose Shadowverse because I was playing it and I've always been a card gamer. So I'm like, all right, let's go try with this. And then I was able to like cast tournaments. I was able to do production for tournaments. I was at the PAX East 2017 stage show with Cygames, and that was an amazing experience that I was able to do through my streaming and through my content creation with Shadowverse, and that really solidified what I want to do for the rest of my life is work in the esports and gaming industry as a content creator, because like all those people around me, and I was hosting the stage show and I was bubbling with excitement. It was amazing. I hope we get to have cons come back soon. So that was really great. And then I eventually moved to Magic the Gathering, which I played mostly arena. I only went to like one local once for a draft. And that was good. That was good. I wasn't really finding much success in it though, and I grew bored the meta. So then I hopped on to TFT, which is sort of like drafting in real time auto chess. Yeah. So I really like that. And through that, I was able to go to Berlin to work with G2 for the reality show G2 Making the Squad, which was an absolutely life-changing experience, working with all these amazing professionals in the industry and such one of my like favorite esports organizations, and just like again like further just making sure like this is what I want to do. I love working with people like this, and really just showing me the in and outs of the industry. So after I came back, I eventually like grew a little tired of TFT, and I was like, okay, well, let's just try Runeterra, because I played it during the beta, just the tutorials, but then I was like, nah, I'll go back to my TFTs and my drafting. But then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a second chance, and I was hooked on it. And then literally I got from Iron to Diamond in a one patch since I started, because that was the meta where Darrowing. So for some context, I started Runeterra last set, about like 2 patches before the end. So fairly recently, maybe compared to some other people, but I was able to get there real fast, and then like a couple weeks of fumbling about, and I eventually just endured my way to master. But it doesn't really take that much skill to do that, let's be real, but we got there, baby. That's what matters. So now I'm here doing daily YouTube content for Runeterra, streaming 3 times a week for it, continuing on doing cosplays on Instagram, and then like TikTok content for gaming. And I am also a college graduate now in today's age.
Hey,
you can do it all, folks.
That's what we got.
Oh,
wow.
That's great.
A little long-winded, but we got there.
Hey, it's okay. I mean, especially in times like these, stupid COVID crap where we can't go and do all our fun things. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, it's crazy, because I live in New York, so I'm used to going to con.
Yeah, no, like this time last year I was at NYC. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I miss it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had an amazing career, to be fair, so far. Like in terms of all the things you've done, all the different things that you've gone and done. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities, people supporting me, that I've been very blessed to be able to take advantage of and learn from.
Yeah, I had no idea that. I thought you were just doing like the YouTube and the Twitch stuff. I didn't know that you had gone and worked with G2. That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
that
really,
was
really cool.
last year for the reality show. So if you want to it's all on YouTube if you want to check it out.
What was your role in that? What were you doing?
Oh, it was a reality show contestant.
Oh, no
and
way.
then after I was like booted off early, I actually worked with and learned from and like by shadowing their social media office, so I made the best of my situation. So that was really an amazing experience. Yeah, because their social media team is like my favorite, like G2 and C9. I literally wrote a paper about G2 and C9's social media before like I entered myself for that competition. Like, because I'm really I fangirl over social media. Good esports social media, it makes me very excited.
Nah, that's
awesome.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know that about you either. Also, didn't know you played Card Fight. Yo, we gotta talk about that.
That was my OG.
Wow.
I mean, maybe you went to that one Spring Fest I did.
I probably did. I was probably
in
playing
White
like
Lands
Joker.
or White whatever.
Yeah, in White Plains, right?
White Plains. That's where it used to be. Yeah, I went to one of them.
Yeah, that was the first one I went to as well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But all right, let's get back to Legends of Runeterra. Cause let me give you some context. So Gomez
Hello.
loves to talk about Hearthstone on the podcast. So
No,
we always have to reel him back in.
You say this like I do it in like the only reason why I mentioned it is that I played Hearthstone for 5 years and was in the and so whenever we're talking Runeterra, whenever there's a situation with the cards and that's similar, it's my only point of reference to say, because it's an online card game, same kind of thing. It's my reference point, okay?
Yeah, I know, but at this point, it sounds like it's that ex-girlfriend that like you're still shaken. Like she scarred you for life.
Hey, I mean, you talk to any ex-Hearthstone player, and they will tell you they did scar them for life.
Like you're never gonna have a healthy relationship with a new card game again because of Hearthstone.
There's a lot of people who would agree with that. There's a lot of people who would agree with that. So
man. But
that's what I got to say.
But no, it's an epic background. I absolutely no idea until you presented it to us on the podcast, and like I said before, we're happy to have you here. So
I'm happy to be here.
Because I was gonna say, literally, I only know you from your streams and obviously catching some of your YouTube content as well. So like, it's good to know like you got quite an extensive background.
Yeah, I'm very ambitious.
You have to be.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You gotta put in the work. That's how it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
So all right, so we're gonna go into our next segment, which is pick a card. So basically, we just pick 2 cards, one card that we really like for the week and one card that we really hate for the week. So Sword.
We start. I was gonna say we start with our guest, but okay.
I was gonna start with our guest, but I don't know if she's ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay.
Whatever works.
Okay.
Okay. So I would have to say that my favorite right now is with the new Mountain Goat buff. He is goated. I love him, especially in Nightfall, because you just keep on getting those gems to make Nightfall happen so easily. And the fact that you just get some staying power, especially on your Shade Stalker, which is elusive, and if your opponent doesn't have any way to deal with it, you just win off your Shade Stalker. Or even your sister's elusive that you use from Invoke, and it's just really good. That stat line is crazy good for 2 costs already, and then we get that huge value. So I'm very happy with the buff. I've been playing Nick's Mix Play's recent Nightfall list, and it has been going swimmingly on the ladder.
I was watching his stream actually the other night, and I seen him on the EU ladder. He was just like,
yeah, no, that's what he used on to absolutely demolish people in EU. Because it goes so well against, it's like a Zed Lee Sin counter. Like, whenever I queue up against Zed Lee Sin, I'm like, yes! Free win! Seems good.
I feel the same way. I'm not even playing Nightfall.
You see it everywhere. Everyone's playing it. I'm like, oh yes, I get a win. You take those.
Yeah, solid turn, which it turn 2 move, because literally just that health stat just helps so much get past so many different things, like, you know, obviously the Shadow Owls and whatnot, like with them Vile Feast and that. So it's just it's like the exact nerf that obviously they re-put back onto what's his face, the
Petty
officer. Yeah, Petty Officer.
Yeah,
he started off with one. He started off with 1, then went up to 2, then gone back down to 1. But I think that makes sense because he does actually create another minion anyway, so actually giving a counter is okay.
Do we feel like that the GOAT is gonna get the Petty Officer treatment and get that reverted at some point?
I hope not. I don't feel like a lot of people have been complaining about it or like have really found it to be much of a problem because it's only in certain decks. Like
yeah, it's not in every deck.
The thing
yeah,
about
it's
it
not
is,
in every deck.
it shouldn't be because it's still blockable at 2 health. I
Yeah,
think I think it's
exactly.
very fine.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's very like situational depending on your deck archetype, and those archetypes that it would be in, I really like. So I am completely fine with that, and I really love it.
Yeah, I think it's really healthy where it's at right now because if you do gotta block it, whatever you're blocking with is likely to be trading even and dying as well. So you have to make that hard choice to block or to, use a Death Sand or a Mystic Shot or something to get it out of there. So I think it's a really healthy change to make that stronger. It's annoying in the Lee Sin decks, but
yeah, and
good.
that's what I also like about some sort of card design is just sort of not only just like nerfing things constantly, but rather making other cards more on the level of some other cards. I mean, I think we were talking about that earlier about how Bilgewater isn't the problem. It's that there's other regions need to catch up to Bilgewater to be able to deal with it.
And
Now,
she's right.
that being
She's
said,
right.
I still detest Bilgewater, but I understand the root of the problem is not inherently in the region itself, but the lack of other regions.
See, the reason why Swerve's got no problem with Goat at the moment, he'd get upset if they changed it so that it was like, he'd be upset if they changed it and put that health up 1 more, like changed it so that the attack was 2 and the health was 3, because the health's 3.
Oh yeah, no, that would be way too much value.
Nah, yeah, that'd be way too
At 2-3.
strong.
That just means that he can't throw his keg out and then make it rain. So at 2 health, he still has keg make it rain. So he's fine with it. It doesn't matter.
He's
2
like, hey.
health is fine for Swerve.
He's like, hey, that sounds good. Oh, 2 health?
I
That
respect
sounds
that.
good.
I respect that.
See, he's making all these faces, but he knows that's the truth.
Yeah.
Inside, he knows.
Oh man. Nah.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Yep.
But it has nothing to do with the kegs and the make it rain. It has to do with the card value, and it would have been incredibly unfair in that way. At a 2-3, forget that.
Nah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's be
2-2
real. It
would be
just
more
comes down
fair.
to the kegs. Who cares about card design? Who cares about balance? It's just that sweet, sweet RNG that you get when there's multiple enemies and it hits just right. Woo!
The heart of the cards. Every
Yeah.
time I say that. Chat, do you believe in the heart of the cards?
Cards.
Put up the Nocturne emote and hit
Oh
surrender.
gosh, I love that emote so much.
Yeah, it's top tier. I love it. What card did you not like this past week, though?
Well, probably I've just been mostly annoyed, though I may eventually come around to being alright with it, with Bastion, with the fact that Targon already has so much versatility and denial of value and buff and pump, and then we just got another one. I know that the devs said that they're like, you know what? We may revert it on Bastion on Twitter because obviously all the decisions are made 2 weeks in advance,
Yeah.
and they didn't really understand like how good the Lee Sin buff was going to be with this. So I already from the beginning was a little wary because again, Targon has so much utility. It is basically a no fun allowed deck that just like your opponent's card, nah, we're not gonna let you use those. And this giving it the +1/+1
On
is
top
just
of
that extra just sort of like kick in the head that I did not need to have when I'm just trying to grind happily playing my decks, because it's just like, oh yes, I got my value, we're good, and then you just like +1/+1.
Exactly. It's like how would you like how would you like a 3 mana deny?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
also, it's burst speed. But also +1/+1 on top of it.
You hear all those?
It's like the salesman. Everything must go here. Put this in the basket.
All you- all you
It's
hear
value,
is-
people.
All you hear is
Burst
also.
speed. Like
And-
everything in Targon is burst almost, and then you just have so many options, and there's like, oh, here we're gonna give you some even more options, and even the option to like OTK with your Lee Sin leveled up for Dragon's Fury. Yeah, here's an option, just win the game right there. OTK.
And it's
Here you
like,
go, honey.
and you know what? We'll make it permanent. And
Yeah,
it'll last
yeah,
the
it's gonna be
entire
permanent
time.
too.
Like
It's great.
It's fine. And you, why don't we let it draw a card too? Let's check that out.
Let's just
Go
make-
over here.
Let's just make it
Let's
2
just
mana.
go on it.
Let's just make it 2 mana at this point. Like, it's not even OP enough.
Yep. It should draw a card too.
I am very much expecting they're gonna do what they said on Twitter with reverting it back, simply because, I mean, they said they may, and obviously there has been an outcry of people being very frustrated with like me. So, I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident that they will revert it back. Though I'm just glad that there were some other changes that will probably go in later when we talk about the patch notes that made some of my most hated cards not my most hated cards.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where literally it is when you're playing something like, say you're playing Shadow Isles and you play a Vengeance on it, and then they just throw that out. It's like the amount of like they've just spent they've just spent 7 mana of their time trying to stop
and then
that.
plus one. Here's
exactly
a the back.
plus one. But not only that, it's the fact that if it was deny gets thrown onto the stack, and then I mean, it's one of those things where I guess there's still nothing they can do about it. But I feel better with knowing that it's cost my opponent 4 mana rather than 3, and then they can still continue to play something. So I don't know. It is ridiculous for its cost, I think, at this moment in time, and the fact that it is burst speed, there's literally nothing you can do to stop it. It's the same as does anyone remember when Unyielding Spirit was burst? Unyielding Spirit used to be a burst speed.
Why you reminding me of
cancer?
that time?
And then just literally, it's just you try to put something on. It's like, aha! This unit can take no more damage anymore, and it's immortal and that. And then
I'm so glad I wasn't around when that was burst speed. Oh my god!
Yeah,
It didn't want to be. Oh my
It was so can, and the only saving grace is back then. That's when Will was 4 mana. And if you weren't playing Ionia, you're not climbing consistently.
No, but another thing, you knew that the second you played against Demacia and you weren't playing Ionia, you had really no removal spell. I mean, other than I guess, Demacia itself had Detain. But you had no actual other way of dealing with that if somebody threw out Unyielding Spirit. Because it was burst speed, you couldn't even get damage in there to be able to kill it before it got the buff. So, that was the day. That was the day was when people used to Unyielding Spirit and then Dust Till Dawn, so that they just got all those things that didn't die, and we're just like, aha! Damn.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days. Dark days.
Well, I was still just playing Bilgewater back then, so.
I mean, the deck hasn't changed that much since the very beginning. Every patch, it's pretty much the same. Ever since it was made.
Which deck? Which one are you talking about?
Bilgewater. At least from when I started. I don't know. Maybe it was different then, but it seems like since I started, it's been basically the same deck. The MFGP variant at least has been.
Yeah, right now it's
the same. Yeah.
That's what I've been playing lately. That just. Yeah. The raw stat value of each card is so gross.
You could even bring over your set 2 deck from there into set 3 and just climb. You're good.
Yeah, I don't. Oh no, I'm playing Jack the Winner.
Oh yeah, besides that, of course, which
that's the one because
that's card, the really good card.
At least they put down his stats a little bit because 5-6 was. I mean, at least he's now you can get him a bit now. He was like. I mean, I guess they did it so that you could actually play his ability on himself.
Oh gosh, no! This is too much.
No, I'm just guessing that was the reason why his stat level was so high. But then,
then also be able to trade consistently too. Let's use this and be a blocker.
He trades with Heckroom and what's her name, GP. Easy.
Right.
So yeah, that's too much. for you would have thought he was a champ.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
that's awesome.
Get this man.
Pirate's life for him.
Right. Alright. Swerve, you can go next for
all right.
Yeah.
So we the people, you know this card. You felt the pain of this card when we did a little best 2 out of 3 on his stream the other day.
Yeah, I gotta.
And he knows this. He won the 2 out of 3. I'll give it to him. He won the match, but I beat him with the Siren.
I had to pull out your deck. I had to show you how it feels.
So My favorite card of this week is the Siren. It's a bad card. It's a really terrible card. It probably needs a buff, but man, when you pull it off, it is funny. Because I told him, I think we were on the end of turn 6. I'm like, dude, do you know the pain that is about to come your way? And I put the Siren down. He casted Hush on it, and I was really sad. But
so you felt the pain that he was gonna be feeling.
yeah, but like that list right there, the Siren list is actually really kind of interesting. It's kind of like the Nightfall deck where you like try to power yourself up for like one enormous turn of damage. It's too slow right now, but I really like that card because it's really funny. It's just a fun card to play, and I wish it could see a little more competitive viability at some point. But it's a Bilgewater card, so Gomez hates it. And...
no, I don't hate it. Okay, I've never actually had a problem with Bilgewater. There's actually many decks because to be fair, I do love Twisted Fate. He's one of my favorite champions in the game. Just like when he levels up, he just like it's just. He's the card game. He's the card game man in a card game. How could he not be like up there?
Exactly. Exactly. But
it's just I like to experiment around more than just. It always must be Bilgewater.
And I don't know if this is going to be like unanimous, but the card that I did not like this week is Bastion. I'm not going to try to be original here. Screw that card. I mean,
it is ridiculous now with the way that it is. Yeah.
But Wondermelo mentioned, and I actually responded to Ruben Zoo's Twitter post that he put this out before the patch was even live. He's like, "Whoa, we definitely overdid it with this," and I like it because the whole community was like really mad about it, right? Like everybody was really mad about Bastion and thinking it's stupid, but I immediately felt better after reading his tweet. Like, oh
yeah,
God,
same. Like
I
have
knows,
faith.
like they get
it's
it.
known. It's known. Yeah.
Like it's nice that they can admit their mistakes and go, we will fix it eventually. So it was a relief, but I'm sure that we could sit here and talk about Bastion all day and why it's broken.
Bastion OP, bro.
It's really broken, and I'm glad that they're going to be fixing it. All right, next person.
Okay, so
Alright,
I'll go.
Gomez,
So favorite card, Rummage. Just because it saved my life on the stream. It made a great moment on the stream, but it's just that draw. I know that you got to remove some things, but to be fair, most of the time when you're playing that deck, you're playing like Jerry Rig or something whereby it doesn't actually matter it being discarded. So I'd say for the draw purposes, I massively enjoy it because it's not only one cost and burst spell. I do actually like Rummage. That's what I've got to say on that.
Great.
Probably least favorite card this week. Now, everyone's gone with Bastion, so I've kind of got to go down a different route because I'm one of those guys who's change everything. I have the dragon. I'm gonna say. That which is the 2-mana 1/3 who summons Dragon, the Dragon just because whenever you're in that kind of situation, because it's mostly least index that are playing it and they're constantly playing multiple spells and that, they keep getting those 2/1s which are ephemeral with life steal, and it's just it stops you from being able to attack forward because you try to attack forward. It's like, well, that's an instant blocker, which is also giving them life. So it almost makes you kind of think, I don't really want to be putting this forward. It's the fact that they can get that near enough consistently every single turn. And so that's why I'm going to say, the dragon this week has been an annoyance to me. It's a good card, and got no problems to understand. It's been an annoyance this week.
Yep.
For me personally, I don't know how everyone else feels about it.
Nah, Eye of the Dragon is just one of those cards that just it just lets them live. Like, God damn, why are you living?
Yeah, unless you can get rid of it early, but by the time they get 2 of them on, so you're just gonna consistently have the Lee Sin and then 2 of the Dragon Lanes every turn.
Yeah. No, it's just it's a super consistent value engine. It's one of those rare 2 drops in the game that you don't feel bad if you're drawing it on turn 6 or 7. You're like, okay, that's fine. It's not like drawing any other of the random 2 drops. Man, I didn't really want this one right now, but no, it feels good to draw that card no matter when. And
It's also because of that free health stat, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Can't-
3 health stat.
Can't just use your kegs and make it rain that one away.
And it's like a pseudo 1-drop, right? Because you get the attune as well. So yeah, that card's it's just super valuable.
It's always going to stay on the backfield as well. So
yeah, can you think of a mulligan where you're going to be like, man, I don't really want Eye of the Dragon right now?
Maybe later.
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, if you see that card in open hand, you're probably keeping it.
I can't think of a situation where I would ever toss that card out and in a mulligan.
Yeah, because it's 1 mana.
Yeah.
But alright.
That's probably my problem card of the week. But
Okay.
obviously Bastion as well, but still, to be different.
Alright, I'll go last. So, Swerve.
Stop it.
I wasn't even gonna talk about our match. I was gonna talk about the match before ours. So, my favorite card of the week. I've been just experimenting. Why I don't know why I couldn't say that.
English, yeah.
Experimenting with this card. So my favorite card is Shampoo actually.
That's a respectable answer.
I have been experimenting up the wazoo with Shampoo. I'm about to make this card better.
Dude, like I'm about to shed a tear, honestly. I really
man of
am.
culture.
I'm so happy right now that you said that. Thank you.
What happened to you, we the people? I used to respect you.
I've been experimenting up the wazoo with Shampoo. I'm not even gonna lie. No, all seriousness. I've just been throwing it in a lot of different decks. A lot of different not only aggro decks, but decks that you want to like kill them in one turn with like Katarina, so like you get like 2 rallies.
Beautiful. I love to see it.
Get like 2 rallies a turn. They're just like, okay, scoop it up. But in the on stream, I was versing one of the viewers, and I was playing my Lee Sin Katarina deck, and I ended up it didn't win me the game, but it put me in a winning position. Shampoo. It put me to win the following turn, because I rallied on his turn. He didn't really have a board, and I kicked something into his Nexus, and then it was just over from there.
Yeah, I love that card. I mean, Shunpo is like my favorite card that will never be a 3 of in any deck, right? Like, it's never going to be a 3 of. So it's so much fun. I love it in Swain decks because people are like, what? They get so surprised by something
I have
like
to
that.
try that now. Swain is one of my favorite champions in this game.
Yeah,
I need to try that.
It's a 1 of in the Teemo Swain. I dropped one of the Tri-Beam Improbulators out for Shunpo, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's a clip of me on one of those Runeterra highlight YouTube channels, and it was so much fun. Who plays around Shunpo?
Nobody plays. Yo, he literally played into. I was like, damn, feels bad. Well, all right, least favorite card. I mean, everybody hates Bastion, 100%. But I'll be like Gomez. I'll talk about one of the cards that usually gets them Bastion. Deep Meditation. I don't necessarily like completely like get that card out of here, but it's just one of those cards. It's like, I don't know if anybody, both of you guys kind of played Magic. It's like a search. Yeah. It's like a tutor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like demonic tutor. It's like, damn.
Yep. It's like you're playing a list. I mean, I currently am. I'm playing a list where I only have like 1 spell that costs under 3, and I'm playing what's it called? Zap Spray Fin, and I put it. I'm like, oh, well, I know what I'm getting. This is perfect. It's great.
I think it's because it also just like whenever they're searching for answers, like you're trying to kill Lee Sin, and then obviously they've got Bastion on them, but then you've got like a few things you're trying to use, and they just use that to find Deny, because obviously Deny is also in.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a few copies of Deny in there, just like, just can't stop him. Okay, I just can't. Okay, you win. I can't stop him.
It feels bad.
Well played.
It feels bad when they deep meditation for a denied Bastion.
Oh.
Yeah.
That feels bad. That actually feels bad. You're just like, alright,
kind of bad.
you got it. Or there's some hands like when they start with double Bastion with Lee Sin,
No.
and then they deep med for a deny. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
It's like, all right, you got it.
No, that's a great card.
But yeah, no, deep med is not a bad card. I mean, I feel like when it was because it got nerfed. It got nerfed when like back when Ezreal Karma was a big thing.
Oh yeah, it had to back then.
Yeah, it got
It
nerfed.
had to.
And it's a lot better now because you got to pay more mana for it, but it's still crazy. Because it searches spells straight from your deck. Like, what other card other than Spray Fin searches spells straight from your deck?
What's it called? River Shaper.
Oh yeah, River Shaper.
Yeah, River Shaper's crazy good.
But deep med burst speed search 2 spells. Bro.
All right, I got these patch notes up, and I already watched Wondermelo's video about the patch notes, so.
I mean, it doesn't search for spells through your deck, but which it pilfered goods tends to take spells away from your
Oh
opponent.
my goodness. Have you ever pilfered goods for somebody's like crazy card like Runation? Or like
Oh
yeah, multiple times.
or like you pilfered for the Rekindler or something.
Oh gosh. The other day I was watching Silverfuse and her opponent, which was Bilgewater, haha, actually nabbed like 2 of her Radiant Guardians.
Oh,
Like
gross.
Devastating.
it was disgusting to watch.
It's really gross.
Oh yeah, that would have been one of my hated cards for this week if it didn't get nerfed. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
Cause they're playing I was playing against a lot of the ASOL Lux decks, but I think a lot of them took a back seat because of the nerf.
Well, let's talk about that. In the patch notes, Aurelion Soul top right there, getting nerfed to 25 total power. What do you guys think of that? Is everybody happy about it? Is it too much? Not enough?
I'm actually okay with that because it was getting to the point where literally just like turn 10 he was coming down and he was leveling at the end of that turn. Most of the time
that's kinda how I feel too.
they build a board very quickly with that, and like, most of the time when that's being played in a ramp deck anyway, like, so they're throwing that out on like turn 8 or 7 and whatnot when you're still finishing. So I've actually got no issues with that because it was a quick level up, and he's got such a devastating level up ability when he does.
Exactly.
I mean, the game's over. The second that he levels up, the game is done. So
It's over.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like 25 actually is the sweet spot, and it should remain there from until the end of his days, I believe. Because it's just like Gomez says. I totally agree with him. That level up is
That's
completely disgusting.
Win the game,
It's the
Exodia.
most
Exodia.
level up.
Obliterate.
Yep.
Man.
Look.
No, I think it's the perfect amount, honestly. I was gonna say I think any nerfs to ASO would have been fine in this patch, but I think that was the perfect way to go, to be honest, because that's why you play ASO, because you want your Celestials to be 0, like, honestly. So
I mean, I think there should quite clearly be a card which is once you play it, it summons all of the Celestials from your hand to the field.
Oh, God.
Now you
If I
say,
get this guy-
Gomez, how does your own mind work?
Now you're gonna say, Gomez, you silly prick. Why do you want this to be a thing? But I love Shadow Isles, and to actually make Passage Unearned actually worthwhile, just they do that and get their big board of Starmen, and I'm like, haha, Passage Unearned, good day, and they all die. So that's why I just want Passage Unearned to actually have a place, because let's face it, Passage Unearned only works against Shadow Isles most of the time than actually for it.
For the Fallen, it is a hard counter to For the Fallen.
I know, but how many Fallen decks are you seeing out there at the moment, like on the ladder?
I've played against maybe 2 in the past. Since the patch released. It's a funny card. I like that card.
I'm not saying it's a bad card. I'm just saying I'm not seeing it that much on the ladder. I just want Passage Unearned to be just to have its place. Like,
it's a sideboard card. That's just all there is to it. Once sideboards come into tournament play,
Don't you
Right.
guys find it to be super hilarious that most regions, like their counters are in the regions?
Yeah.
oh, yeah. That's what the funniest thing.
Like, Targon's what counters Targon.
Hush.
Hush.
That's what made
You be quiet over there.
That's what made Bilgewater so amazing when it first came out. Is the nab feature. The nab feature most of the time actually took your opponent's counter of their own deck out of their deck, and then you just played it against them.
Right.
So
Bilgewater, baby.
that was the devastation of nab. Is that it just it devastated your opponent with your opponent.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's like, yo,
moving down the list, because we're gonna go on forever. I could talk about Bilgewater all day, every day. The Radiant Guardian power nerf finally happened. It had been
they answered
the
our
same
calls.
card. That card has been the same since beta.
They answered our
Oh, yeah.
calls.
And it like enough things had finally like got put into the game that made this card like, oh, this is too much value. We got to do something about it. And I think it's really good at 4/5. I'm pretty happy about this nerf because it's still very playable, right? It's incredibly playable still. It does its job continuously still, and now it feels a little bit better, a little bit.
I mean, the second that they played that forward and then they played Judgment, it was like, oh, it's all over. it's all over. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like instant concede. Sometimes I have 2 of them, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this game. I don't want to put myself through this.
It's gonna be a slow ass grind because you gotta make it past 2 walls. Like,
Yep.
Well, the thing of it is because of its health stat is also great, and it's got like a most done. They're dropping it with tough, obviously, because they're getting a lifesteal and tough. It's just even with Hush, if you were playing Targon, most of the time you can't actually beat the health stats. So you're only really you do damage to it on that turn. It's not, and they're not getting the heals. But then it's like, well, I'm still got that to deal with.
Yep.
I think the nerf, it doesn't really affect Radiant Guardian in my opinion. Like, it really affects Remembrance, because like if you Remembrance on turn 3 and then you get Radiant Guardian now, you're like, damn,
It feels so awful. It feels so
you don't
so
got no
awful.
5/5, honey.
Yep.
You got no 4/5 there.
It feels really awful in that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I just swear every single time that I'm playing against something like that, they throw down Remembrance, and I always seem to go against the fucking moose. I feel like that's just always what they get from it. It's like, oh, come on.
No moose, no dragon, please. No.
Exactly.
Unlucky.
Just immediate scout attacking forward.
Yeah.
It's when they get that, as you say, on like turn 3, and you've got barely anything to be able to like cope, and they've got like 10 damage right off the gate. It's like, it's got scout, It's like nothing you can do about it. It's like, okay, I guess I just lose.
I built a fun combo list of trying to give the moose elusive.
Oh my
Elusive.
god.
Everybody did that. Down the list I'm gonna like lump these kind of together. The Inspiring Mentor and Pix. Inspiring Mentor is like a weird. Is it a buff?
Yeah, I was
What
thinking
is
the
it?
same
Yeah,
thing.
I would say
Are we
that's
calling that a buff?
It's like an aggro Ionia.
Yes.
buff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
depends on what archetype you're running. Like,
Yeah.
it just trying to inspire people play aggro, like elusive Ionia with Inspire Mentor buff, but it's not inspiring too much in my opinion. From what I've seen.
I don't think that this card is gonna exit obscurity. Honestly, I don't think it does anything for it, but we'll see. I don't know. It just gives Lee Sin one more attack. You're almost at 10. Stupid Lee Sin. But Pix, how do we feel about Pix? Is this card exiting obscurity as well?
I don't think it was ever really an obscurity. Like, you would see it in Lulu decks, and I pretty much just haven't seen much of a change. Like, the extra health is nice, but by the time you have things to deal with it and you're supporting something, you usually have something that could chump for a 2 attack for the pick. So I honestly don't really feel any emotion towards this. I'm like, yo, seems good. Doesn't really affect my play personally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got no issues with it, I'm gonna be honest.
It's like, eh.
So that happened.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Pretty much.
All right, now down to probably one of the biggest changes is Jack the Winner health going down from 6 to 5. Even myself,
Yeah, the
as
biggest
the
change.
Bilgewater guy, I went, yep, that's fair. That's fair. That's really fair.
Dude could trade with champs, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
I mean, when you do like just value calculations, like a 5/6 for 5, even without his round start ability for Sleep of the
Literally.
Fishes, was like, oh, I'm putting that on all my decks. Yeah, sure.
Literally, like, what? Let me
It's
get
just-
that
just-
right now.
But I feel kind of the same way about Jack the Winner as I do about Radiant Guardian. He's still doing his job. He's still doing what his,
Oh, yeah,
his
no, I-
intended use is for, and it's super fair.
You
So
know, it just brings him a little bit more in line. I don't think that he gets cut from anyone's deck because he's just doing the thing that you want him to do. So
all right, now so you guys remember this from last week, like the feelings that you were feeling going down these patch notes, right? Like that time, like everything's great. Like, oh, all these buffs and nerfs seem really fair. So then we get to Petty Officer, and you're like, oh yeah, so it gets reverted. It's back to 1 health. Still a fair card, right?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna put too much emphasis onto that. We're gonna scroll down just a little bit more to Bastion. Okay, we're gonna get to Bastion, and then
He's
everybody's
triggered.
just like, it's.
I feel like you
I'm
were
getting-
so triggered when you saw these patch notes because
I'm
Petty
getting
Officer is here.
PTSD.
Because Petty Officer is here, and then Bastion's right under.
It's
I
just
mean,
like,
oh.
oh.
just to address Petty Officer, I think it made complete sense because they gave the buff to Taskmaster last time. So because obviously that actually affects 1 cost, and he creates a 1 cost or a keg. But yes, just to address that for that tiny amount of time before we get into the big meaty part of the main course.
Yeah, I have
what-
like
just wanted to say
PTSD
that.
right now. Like, I'm remembering being back at my desk. I'm like, oh, the patch notes are out because I'm at work, and I'm like, what? Why would they do that?
See, I remember it because I was sitting downstairs in the living room with my girlfriend, and we were watching. I swear it's Tuesday night. That watching Great British Bake Off is on.
Nice.
We were watching Great British Bake Off, and then suddenly just saw that on the phone. I was like, nah.
Gomez gets up from the couch and walks away. His girlfriend's like, what's wrong? I don't want to talk about it, honey.
You can't understand.
Oh my goodness! Now I was dead scrolling in the patch notes, and then when I saw that Bastion, I was like, yeah, this card's broken. This card is like literally that's the first thing that came out. I'm like, yeah, this card's
I think
broken.
the
now.
second that everyone saw that, they were just like, oh, it's just, why? What is it's the
But they literally
free man
changed.
deny.
Yeah, exactly. But they literally changed like 1 word on the card and gave it +1, and it made it literally broken. They changed it from a give to a grant. That was already like, okay, this is a lot. And then they made it +1. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's too much synergy with the card now. There's way too much synergy because the 1 health. Oh my god! Like, why would they do that? It's in a region where you get tons of free healing too. So,
Yeah.
you can trade up with it and then heal that unit back to full. And Lee Sin was already a huge problem because I mean, Mogwai, I think I said it best. Lee Sin is a 4-drop that is intended to be a 6-drop. It's intended to be a 6 mana champion, but he's somehow a 4-drop right now, and there's just way too much synergy going on. Wondermelo, how do you feel about Bastion?
I have many feelings. Thank you for asking.
Share them, because I'm just getting more.
I was just very confused. Right now, I'm sort of feeling a little bit better with the whole Rubinzu tweet. I know that it is going to be changed. I have faith that they will change it. But when I initially saw this, I was just shocked. Like, my mouth went down. Because I already was talking about so much about how, like, Targon is, like, the no fun allowed zone. And that there's so much versatility with your spells in Targon with what you can do. And then this guy comes along and gets buffed, in addition to the recent, like, Lee Sin, which I would even say this even if Lee Sin didn't get buffed, just because Targon has so many options. But because of Lee Sin being good now, this makes it even worse than it would be before, which makes me a little confused. Why would they buff it to go? But you know what? I understand that they messed up, and I respect that. So it's just sort of like a whirlwind of emotions on this card. It's very.
I like to think there was like the one developer sitting there in the corner in his swivel chair, cigar in the mouth. He's like, you see, what we need to do, is that we need Targon to be hated, and we're gonna be nerfing Hush, because Hush is our main card that people hate. So what we need to do is we need to have another 3-mana burst spell card that people are gonna hate. So we buff Bastion, Yeah.
Give that man a raise.
I don't know why it's a game, but I like to think that's how the situation went down. Just yeah.
Give that man a raise right now.
I swear that Gomez, like, his world that he lives in is like a 1950s cartoon or something.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, I get Tony the Hat to come around and smash your legs in, like, to be fair, like, it was that same guy who made here we're gonna make Jack the winner, sleeping with the fishes.
No,
That is not the same guy. I think
that is not the same
Nah,
guy.
I don't think
The guy who made Jack the winner is a very respectable man or woman, okay?
Like a slight mistake, but that's all right, And then it was a good card. It's a good card.
But that's how I see it went down. Is there was the one man who just like, we like, people hate Targon, right? So we can't like, we're nerfing Hush. We're giving the people what they want, but let's give them something they don't want as well. Let's give them another 3-mana burst spell.
Let's get that Reddit and Discord discourse going. We need to get that for the PR.
Exactly. That's such a good plan. Let's do it.
No lie.
That's how I see it going down.
No lie. I could dead believe it. Like, honestly. Because it's just so random. It's like Bastion was already seeing play. Like, it wasn't like Bastion was a dead card. No one's playing this card. It's trash. We don't even need this card. It wasn't like that. Bastion was seeing play. So it was like, why would you just randomly buff this card?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, if they're not gonna full revert Bastion back to its original state, what do you guys think is a direction to move in? Just remove the grant and be okay with the +1/+1? Is it better then? Is it healthier then, or is it healthier in its original state?
I mean, for burst speed, I think that, like, it's such a. I understand its point of being a counter, but still, a burst speed, I think it's a little bit too much. But then, that being said, if you put fast speed on it, then by the time you've targeted with something, it's too late. But I guess if you preempt your opponent, then you can put that on before. I don't know.
Just change it back to give. If you want to keep the +1, if you want to keep the +1 on it, then just change it back to give instead of grant. Because grant is just too goddamn much. It's such a good...
I think as a flavor, like because of what a Bastion is meant to be, like a real defensive move, right? I think just like the flavor of the card, I'm okay with the health remaining there. I don't understand the attack to be there because it's meant to be played as like a defensive move, not like I can trade up now.
Yeah, plus +0/+1 or something like.
Yeah.
Potentially,
plus-
potentially it's cost going up, so that at least it's
Yeah.
on. It's like, so it's on par with Deny, so that you
Mhm.
know, because it's just a cheaper, better Deny at the moment. So
Right.
I mean, you think if it becomes 4 mana, would you be okay with like Grant and +1 and Spell Shield? Like that's still a lot. That's still a lot for one card. Like
No,
you get like 3 things out of one card.
Yeah,
I mean,
you get a spell.
Reverting to normal would probably be the best at this point. Like,
Yeah,
rather than to overcomplicate it. Like,
yeah.
I
Don't,
think
like
that
I
would
don't,
be healthiest.
like I don't even
What,
think.
what if it was Grant Spell Shield? That 3 mana burst, permanent Spell Shield.
No.
Grant Spell Shield.
What about a 4 mana burst, Grant Spell Shield?
see, I'd be happy with that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I might
I'd
be
be
okay
happy
with
with
Kind
that.
of more on par of Deny.
Yeah, I might be okay
Because
with that.
it's on par with Deny, and obviously Spell Shield is like the whole shtick with that card, because obviously you've already got things in that, which are in Targon that have got a Spell Shield. It's annoying because it means 2 things to counter, but I wouldn't actually. I'd be
It
okay
would be
with it.
more fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they wanted to keep the Grant, then you think everybody could be happy at 4 mana burst?
yeah. That
I
probably,
think I could
that
be.
probably be.
I could be okay with it then
Yeah.
at 4.
But it
All right.
just,
So now that we've all gotten punched in the stomach by Bastion, and we're reliving the patch notes. We move down, and you can finally breathe again with Cosmic Inspiration, getting that nerf, making this card way more fair because this card was stupid. Like,
I mean, the fact they've refilled mana,
I don't
like
even,
refilled spell mana.
yeah,
That's what
it's
I'm
just this card is what made Aurelion Soul level up, right?
facts.
Like if you have like all these little invokes in your Solari and Lunari priestesses out there, it's like, oh well, I can level up now. It's no problem to get my Aurelion Soul to 20.
Yeah. So you're more so going to see this on like a slower turn or when you already have your soul leveled up, rather than just like, hey, here's just like a free thing, pre-level up a soul. Here you go. So I
Mhm.
feel like this is so much more fair than it used to be, and I'm
Yep.
very much happy with this.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why it refilled mana. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of the like in cards, like there's still like the sisters. I feel like it's a little overpowered for its cost. That even though there are things you need to invoke, they are going to take a while to probably just like tune everything to be a little bit more balanced. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sisters can be a big problem for a lot
Yeah.
of lists. It could be a big problem for a lot of lists.
I think that
If it costs
They-
costs more, maybe. But
I think that they should maybe change some of those cards to, instead of like still keeping some obliterate, I think, but maybe just kill instead, just because obviously once it gets obliterated, that card's never being seen again, and also like it's like the perfect counter to what's his face, Tree Man. My mind has gone off of my
Maokai.
Malachi.
yeah,
Because obviously, because his whole thing is about when things die, then that's getting him close to his level, but that just it obliterates them, so it doesn't actually count towards that. So I just think some of those celestial cards maybe just change it a little bit from obliterate just to like kill. I mean, I'd be more happy with that personally. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Moving further down, we got Grandfather Rumel with now granting 2 allies +0/+4.
It's at least giving him the chance to get more play.
Yeah.
Let's face it. He was not getting in the 8-cost region. Who was thinking, Grandpa's looking good? Like, in terms of everything else that's in that kind of 8-cost slot. Nobody's thinking, Grandpa, write him in there.
Most 8 costs in the game, 8-9 costs are ending the game. So like,
yeah.
I mean,
It's more of like a possibility, more of a fun, like,
Yeah.
ooh, well, let's experiment with a little bit memes, and now like, okay, we'll give you the option to do that. So I'm like, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Grandfather Rumel, I feel like if they were to have this card concept in the game, it shouldn't be at 8 mana. That's like they need to retune his stats and make it like a 5-drop, because it's at the time in the game state is usually like, I don't care what my card's stats are. I care about keywords, and I care about,
Yeah, like
combos.
5 cost +2 or something like that. The 2 allies.
Yeah,
something
like-
like that. Yeah.
when you're considering the fact he's in the same arena as Riptide Rex, Leviathan, Mind Splitter, Judgment.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't
He's in
even
that kind of
stand
8 cost
up,
slot.
man.
It's just like nobody's going. Yeah, no, I'm putting Grandpa in as my 8 cost. Like, so,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like even now, even with the, as you said, like granting to. I mean, he does have Overwhelm, I guess, which does give him something.
Mhm.
But even
Yeah.
then, I don't know. I'm not really looking at him. If I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's my 8 cost slot.
he's literally the kid on the block that goes to locals that doesn't have his card sleeved and comes there. He's like, hey guys, what's up? I'm trying to play, and all you see is everybody with their cards sleeved. Everybody's playing the most meta decks. He goes 0-10 that day.
with modified trial deck.
Yo,
Grandpa Rumo, you said this was gonna be different.
it's a yikes. It's a yikes.
Yeah, Grandpa Rumo's card identity is wrong at 8 mana. If we want this card identity to exist in the game, it needs to be at the most a 6-drop. At the very most, I think.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares about 4 health at turn 8. Nobody cares. I certainly don't.
Nah.
Then we move on to the Hush. The Band-Aid.
Which a captain's an 8 cost as well, isn't he? The man who crates 3 decimates in hand. Yeah, no, definitely. And I started looking on the game, actually looking at the 8 cost. I just completely forgot about the captain. It's like, yeah, I mean that just ends the game himself. And he's he's got he's an 8/8 with Overwhelm, giving you three spells in hand, which each do 4 damage. And then there's poor Grandpa showing up like old decrepit Grandpa. He's got the 8 attack and Overwhelm, but he's got 4 health, and so can mostly be picked off by I guess he's got spell shield, so he's a little bit more versatile, but still. Oh, Grandpa. Sorry for you, man.
Poor man.
Poor man.
Damn,
Yeah.
they violated.
Yeah. And he's got a doggo with a butterfly on its nose, and he's full art. Oh, doggo, I feel sorry for you too. But anyway, sorry to time match from that.
Nah, you were just checking the cards, right?
Yeah.
So we move on to the Band-Aid nerf to Hush, with the cost increasing by 1 on each succession of casting.
Mm-hmm.
Finally something, right? Like, and it's a coding thing, right? And that's why they can't do the nerf it down to the not being repeatable. Is that understood as a fact?
I didn't know that, but it makes sense why they're delaying it to a 1.12 to revert it to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a lot fairer now because obviously it means such mana management, because obviously to even play 2 of them you need to have 7 mana, and then it'd be to play 3 of them because normally that'd be 9 mana. In fact, that's now 12 mana or something, because it makes it so that they can't just do that on an entire board. Now, whereas before they could basically just go you could do a whole attack forward and they go ha 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 ha. So that's actually, I think it's fairer than what it was. Definitely.
Yeah, it's 100% more fair, but I don't think it changes anything right now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how often were you casting more than 2 Hushes in a turn? I mean, how often?
A lot. A lot.
I mean, from that perspective, I see it as if you are going to go and cast more than 1, it's usually going to be later game when you're on the defense to hush out your opponents and make favorable trades. And by that time, you're going to have more mana anyways. So you may be able to get some more hush in there. Like if your opponent say opens attack and you just got okay, we just got a hush 1, 2, 3 at the end of the game. So I feel like it's definitely more fair this way, though with its use that I usually would use it for, it doesn't change too much.
Right. Yeah, it's barely a nerf, honestly, currently. But it made it so that all the people out there are oh, Hush is nerf, I'm not playing that anymore.
But it's still so good.
Because nobody that's kind of the problem right now is, a card goes on the nerf list and people just throw it out. But
I used to save that card to use it multiple times, because to be fair, I actually threw that. That was in my Targon Ezreal deck, so just targeting multiple people with hundreds was helping level Ezreal as well as when he was leveled up. Just mystic shots galore. So obviously it has changed that quite a bit. So I think it's got. I think it's actually quite a good change at the moment. Like especially just to help at the moment.
Yeah, it's a band-aid until they get the code fixed next patch.
It's definitely a lot better.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
I can deal with it.
All the way down at the bottom of the list, Wondermelo's favorite card of the week.
The
Go.
It's Go format.
It's the
gem,
man.
It's Go format in Runeterra now.
It's the GOAT. I mean, we've already discussed this. Even I feel it's a healthy change, right? Like, so it's it's fine.
It was that same guy. It was that same. Yeah, so we've changed Bastion now, but we need more Li Xing, so we'll give him this gold buff as well, so those gems can go on top of the Li Xing. It's perfect, I
actually haven't seen this much in Lee Sin. I haven't seen this much in Lee Sin. Like, I've seen it a little bit, but not as much as I thought I would. But which I think is good, because I mean, there's so many like really good options for Lee Sin for other things. So it's just like it's another option that you could use in cross-region decks as well. Like I was discussing before, it's really good in like a Nightfall deck. So it's just really good, and he's like actually really great usable now.
Yeah, for sure. The Go is a really good card. It was. I feel like it was. I didn't feel like it was unplayable at when it was one health.
It wasn't. There was more options that you would want to play instead of it. Generally,
it was
basically it.
Yeah, I don't think it was doing enough in my opinion. Because it was like you would trade with their one attack minion, and then that's it.
Or like a spiderling. You're playing against aggro, and that hurts.
Yeah. But now at least there's a chance that you can get a second gem now. So yeah. All right. That's the patch notes, right?
That's it.
And then we got that butterfly at the bottom. Anybody about to get that?
Nope.
I did not.
Yo, I was on Nick's stream last night. He was yo. I don't know if anybody watches Nick plays. He was just like whoever gets this what do you call it? The
Guardian.
Yeah, the Guardian. He was like, who would get a mosquito? He was like, no. You know what it sounds like? He was like, everybody close your eyes. I was just crying tears, bro. Nah, you guys gotta check out his stream. It's funny as hell. But
yeah, man, he's great.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
But nah, I probably won't get this one. I probably won't get this.
Yeah, nah, I'm fine with my cat.
Yeah.
Also, I got the Von Yip. I got the Yip.
Yeah.
Also, like down below, speaking of Guardians, there's the new like blue minion.
Oh yeah.
Guardian, and it's not as cute as the red minion. Blue minion is not cute at all. Red minion is far superior. It's just like nah.
It's the mask. It's the
mask,
right?
It's just like it's adorable, and then the blue minion is just like, no, why? Why would anyone want to get you?
Jeez.
I'm like sorry, is it true?
The ugly dog at the pound that just sits there.
It's like, I'm not getting you. I want you. Damn.
Yeah, like that you jelly emo. Like, yeah, no, Blue Guardian is very jealous of the red one because the red one's adorable.
I haven't played the lab.
Oh, I did.
I'd say play. It's actually quite fun. It is against AI, and you do get the little. I mean, the only things you get out of it are two different icons. One of which, obviously, if you get the Nightfall one, looks like it's got the googly eyes. So that's why, obviously, Nightfall's one I'm rocking.
Yeah, I'm rocking that one too.
But that's actually, I actually enjoyed it. I mean, normally lab is against another person, so I guess I was kind of like a little bit sad that you're not against another person, but it was a little bit of deck building in there as well, because as you get wins, you decide which route you want to go down with champions and that, because they had extra cards. So, a little bit of fun in terms of that. So, yeah. Plus, you get an extra power, which you get to choose at the beginning between 3 anyway, to get to either one of those. So, I actually enjoyed it, personally.
It's cool. I'm gonna check it out. I think on my stream later tonight.
Same.
I will give it a go. Masters and friend leaderboards also in the patch notes. Like finally like a way to really like track.
No mobalytics.
Yeah.
Masters list.
Yeah, I know, because Mobalytics was always really behind. And were they also mentioning that they're gonna do like a match history or something coming soon?
I think so.
I
think we still have to.
I was dreaming.
Unfortunately, that was your dream.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
Such flashbacks of the card game
Don't do it.
that shall not be mentioned.
We made it this far.
Oh, you just brought up, mate. Did you? Oh, the toxicity that used to be when you could look at your match history and see who you last played, and there was the little add friend button, and the amount of obscenities that were if you won that game, the amount of saltiness that was thrown at you. It was just literally you'd play a game, win, and then you'd just get a friend request at the bottom, and it was like the last guy you play is like, oh, come on,
that being said, they did add the match history available through the Riot API, so for community sites, so it's not like you need the Mobalytics tracker to get the data, because like their data was so like partial towards only people who have the app, which I mean it's better than nothing, but now this is really good because we've had this data available for League of Legends and TFT, whether or not you own an app forever. So I'm happy that it is being made public so we get at least a little bit more statistics on our side, even though we'll never have the full back end.
Yep. No, that wasn't in my dreams then. It is real.
Yeah, it was on their MISC. So it's like technically it's not in game, but it's like it's for offsites for the API. So I'm like, okay, it's something. Yeah, because I personally would like to see, trends of my wins and losses, of when I'm playing and what I've played against and how I'm personally trending, so I can try to track myself and improve my play based on that kind of stuff. Because that's my thing, is I like to get better. Yeah.
I like to go in the opposite direction. I like to progressively get worse and worse.
Yeah.
Every time I look at Masters, it's like, all right, time to meme now. I'm here.
Meme decks and Masters rank. Heck yeah.
I can't wait.
Diamond is so try hard. Like, whenever it got like back to Masters, it's like, now I can have fun. Like now I can have fun again.
If I can get back into Masters like really soon, I might actually do the try hard push and try to get the LP way up there instead of just memeing.
There's an in-game leaderboard, so you like at least like have the clout amongst your friends,
Yep. Well, I already have the clout amongst my friends. I'm already the highest ranked player on my friends list.
For the clout.
Then I guess you'll have to add me to your friend list so I can change that.
You're up a tier on me. That's not fair. But we can. Yeah, no, we will. We will be Twitch official and in-game official.
Sounds
for
good.
Sure.
I did love the fact that obviously they've now made it so you can cross-shard challenge, just so that the tournaments and for playing with friends online, like at least you don't have to make multiple region accounts and then have to get
like your games too, because I have so many like European viewers and they're like, I would like to play, but I don't have like an NA account, so yeah, I'm happy about that.
Can you add cross-shard people to your friends list?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just was before that you could do that, but you couldn't play against them.
So it makes sense that Gomez has still not added me as a friend. That makes sense.
Yeah. I can't bother to be seeing Bilge all the time, man. But honestly, if you want to send a friend request, I will. I'll challenge you to a card game, and we'll see who sends who to the Shadow Realm.
It will happen. It will happen. But I think we do need to begin to wrap this up. It's been a great episode. Thank you, Wondermelo, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Really great.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really fun.
We really, in the future, we hope to have you back, and we understand why you wouldn't want to.
I'm definitely happy to be back whenever you have an opening.
Yeah, we will. Next week I think is going to be a fun week, right? Are we doing that? Are we doing the tier list episode?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Next week's episode, we're gonna break away from the norm, and we're gonna have a good time talking about the fun parts of the game. You know, we're gonna do an emote tier list. We're going to, I think we're gonna discuss instead of our favorite cards of the week, we're gonna talk about our favorite in-game voice lines and in-game interactions, and everybody's gonna do their best Sump Dredgers, or Dreg Dredgers, excuse me, imitation. Eat the trash.
Oh my god, yo, that
Little
is the
preview there.
funniest line in the game. No.
You just drop that one, drop the trash. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really great. I know I need to break away from the hard grind of the game, and I'm. Oh wait, is it next weekend or the weekend after? I don't know. Yeah, I'll be here to record next weekend because our honeymoon is actually, we've pushed it to we're leaving Saturday. So if we can record
Aw.
next Saturday, I can be there. Yeah.
Congratulations! I hope
wait,
you
so
have a
you-
great
Are you
time.
leaving the 10th or?
We are leaving, yes, on the 10th, but we're not leaving until later in the afternoon because our daughter's dance recital got moved to that day, so we have to
Okay.
move it around. So I am available. I will not miss a week. Sorry, Gomez.
Why you gonna come at me like this? What have I done?
Alright. So for all the YouTube people, I'm gonna leave everybody's link below. I'm gonna also leave Wondermelo's links below. You guys should go check out her content. She has pretty amazing content. Talks about the game. You hear her amazing background. I didn't even know that, yo. She just put it on the show. So,
Yep.
but yeah, we had an amazing podcast as we usually do, and yeah, we're gonna be out. All right.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye.
Alright, later.
What? No. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yo, Gomez, you're supposed to do it.